How's everybody today? Delighted to be here. Good to be back. It's been a bit of a hiatus. That means a while. So, it's Monday morning. We set up a couple of saltwater tanks over the weekend. Actually, yesterday. Just did a new video. It's out as of last night. Got about 250 views so far. Need to get that up, boys and girls. We need to figure out what's going on with the algorithm. I tell you, I am befuddled, but I'm going to take a few steps and see if it matters. So the saltwater tank is now has deep substrate in it and water, and one of them already has hardscape. So let me show you. Here's the one with hardscape, and you can see it's clearing up. They were pretty cloudy last night. This one is still a bit cloudy, although it's pretty well cleared up. I've got two power heads. Haven't put the lights on them yet. I'll do that shortly, maybe while we're together. So there we are. The next step, of course, is to go out and start collecting. And that'll be fun. Let me put this back. That'll be fun. I'm hoping we're going to get some seahorses. We'll see. So, Monday morning, glory. I still have not gotten used to being unstructured, I guess I should say. Not having every day of the week totally structured. It's still a bit befuddling to me. Haven't quite figured out what to do with my time. Let's see who's here. David Fellows. David, Jenny the Anti-Wolf, James Green, Monster Fish Gal. Let's see. Back up here a little bit. That's Laurie from Baltimore. George Trotter. Hi, George. Nice to see you. So we got a few people beginning to pile in. Click on my click on thumbs up. So we're about where we need to be. Well, hello guys. David is going to be back shortly. Okay. So I do not have an agenda for today. I got lots of things I could talk about, but nothing particularly planned. There is something I've been thinking about. Now to get your ideas about it, your suggestions. Hi, Alec. Good to see you. Alec the Nice. George Trotter. This tank. This is my 30-gallon long. Teresa Lovelace. Hi, Teresa. Now, as you can see, the water level's down a bit. I took the glass lid off and did not put it back on, so I've had some evaporation, and it's a little complicated getting the hose in here to fill it, so I have to do it today. There are a number of pretty cool fish in here. I don't know if we can see them. They're all hiding, of course. I mean, every single one of them. There are some Pseudomagills. These are little shellies, and that's a little female pygmy sunfish. And I'm not sure what that is. I don't know. I think it's a molly. I don't know what it is. No, it's not. That's one of the shellies. You can tell by the lumpy looking funny head. Anyway, oh, what else is in here? That's a Pseudomygale, I think. No, it's not. That's just Shelly. Pseudomygale are the blue eyes, of which there are only 4 in here, and they make themselves kind of scarce. And they're being very scarce. Oh, there's one right there. Ta-da! There it is. Anyway, here's the deal. This has got like 5 inches of substrate in it, and it's only a 12-inch tall tank. Well, 4 inches. And it's been set up for more than 10 years. And I'm getting kind of slow plant growth. I'm getting plant growth, but it's really not substantial. So what I'm considering is 2 things. Lowering the water level. I'm not going to try to take the fish out. They're way too tiny. Lowering the water level and removing from the front of the tank about 2 inches of substrate. Now, granted, it's going to go down into the dirt, but I don't think that's going to be a problem because it's been set up so long, the sand and the substrate are one. So it means pulling the plants out that are in the front, going back maybe 3 inches, and then removing sand 2 inches deep back, tapered up. So about a 3-inch taper to get to the level. I don't know if that'll work. That's number 1. There's another Pseudomygale. These are so tiny, it's shocking. There's 2 of them right there. The other thing I want to do is I want to make up some tiny ice cubes using the supplement that I sell for the deep substrate. And when I lower the water level, press every 3 inches on a grid. Press one of those cubes down to the bottom in the substrate across the whole tank. Now, if I do those 2 things and then refill the tank, I could destroy the tank. I could repair the tank. I could make it better, or I could make it worse. And I really don't have a clear idea of which would happen. So there's my dilemma. I kind of like to do it, but I'm not sure it'd be a smart thing to do. But I'll tell you what, for the sake of the channel, I think I better start doing something pretty quick because I'm really in trouble on this channel. Colored guppies. Good morning, good morning. The anti-walt fish, beautiful tank. Which are you referring to? I assume, I don't know. I assume nothing. George Trotter. Why did my daughter's tank stem plant start to lift out of the substrate after a year? I have the Wallstead set up with dirt and gravel. Ha! Because you have gravel, George. Wallstead system doesn't work, and she makes that clear that her system is only good for about a year, and it's because she uses gravel. Now, keep in mind something very important. Wallstead's book was written 20 years ago. This is not new, up-to-the-date knowledge and information. This is 20 years old. So when you apply her system precisely, you're not taking into consideration anything that has happened to improve upon it in the ensuing 20 years. And that's really what I'm doing here. I'm trying to do the updates, trying to update Wallstead. Now, Wallstead, frankly, has not kept up with this. She has not been that, I don't know, involved in the further developments of the dirted tank. and in point of fact, to such an extent that she raises questions about some of the things that we're doing. But we've got 20 years experience on her in that respect. Using her as the foundation, we've dramatically improved upon the two critical issues that she raises in her book, the two critical shortcomings that she raises in her book. Number one is, excuse me, number one is the short term effect of the deep substrate in that the nutrition is used up in about a year. Number two, the fact that the anaerobics interchange too easily with the water column. We have resolved both of those issues substantially, significantly, and I believe successfully by doing two things. Number one, by supplementing the soil when we set it up with a number of enrichments, most of which are minerals, some of which are biologicals, botanicals, if you will. Number two, by substituting sand for gravel. The sand has the effect of slowing down the water flow and keeping the substrate in the substrate and allowing precipitates to enter that substrate without being too easily released into the water column. So I believe the two major shortcomings which your daughter is suffering from, or at least her dad is, have been overcome. My solution to her would be to simply add an inch or two of sand. It's going to sift down in that gravel and it will resolve the problem. If she does simply that, it's going to solve the problem with the plants and it's going to give her tank at least another few years of life. And then if we can really successfully work out the supplement issue, the recharging issue, then she'll have a system that'll last indefinitely. So tell her to add 1 to 2 inches of sand right on top of the gravel. It's going to sit down into it, and it's going to resolve that immediate issue for her. Let's see. Oh, Ro, I miss you too. The pygmy sunfish are going great. Wonderful. Can you use some microworm, banana worm, or blackworm? Banana worm and blackworm. Well, let's see. Blackworm or blackworm. I don't know what you mean by blackworm. There are a couple of different things. Banana worm, yes, I do need banana worm. I got something the other day that I ordered online. Speaking of which, I got this. And I don't even know what it is. It's little balls of dirt that theoretically have got worms in them. But I frankly don't see a thing. I think I just got taken. So, yes, Ro, I need banana worms for sure. And if the black worms are soil-based rather than water-based, I would like some of those too. The water black worms that come in globs, I have access to. I'm trying to set up some systems now to be able to keep a significant portion of them alive and well. But yes, now microworm, I wanted to talk about that. Those of you who have been around a while are familiar with Joey's microworm culture. I've got one here. She never made a video about how to do this. I encouraged her to any number of times. So I'm going to go ahead and do it and be sure to give her credit. What I have done is I went to um, the Chinese restaurant, and I got takeout. I got a quart of rice, cooked rice. That's what this is. That's a quart. That's quart rice. Yeah, cooked rice, not the whole quart. I started it about a half an inch higher than it currently is. Now, frankly, I don't know why this works. I do know that it does work. This is about 6 weeks old. Typically, with a microworm culture that's an inch or half an inch or whatever it is deep, in a matter of 6 weeks, it would have been long gone. It would have fouled out. It would have become a stinky, putrid mess that would have to be gotten rid of. There's no odor in this. It's absolutely fine. It smells a little bit like yeast because that's all it is. Leonard is here. Hi, Leonard. What's up?
Barney just called and said a power transformer blew up and there was no electricity.
Where? At Ann's house. Oh my God.
One thing
after that's another. Crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
One thing after another.
There certainly is. Leonard takes care of a friend who's just a year or two younger than him. And he's been fighting her air conditioning system for the last week or two. It goes out every day, gets repaired, and goes out again. And then the next thing that happened was she lost her door keys. So we had to put a new door lock in. They struggled with that for 2 days. And now somebody hit a transformer pole and the power's gone out. So poor baby. Poor child. All right. Thank you, Ro. Yes, very much. Gnarly Fish Tanks. Good morning, Gnarly. Nice to see you. Let's see. Let me back up a little. Wayne Todd. I think I got everybody. Monster George. Yeah, let me jump forward here. Gnarly. Maple Street is here. Good morning, Maple Street. Nice to see you. Good to have you with us. Chevy Fish is here. Hello, Chevy Fish. Chevy Fish is not always with us because she's on her phone and it has a service problem. So it's difficult for her. But she's a real trooper. Brad Hobbies. Hi, Brad Hobbies. Okay. Chevy is saying them. Oh, wait a minute. There must have been some other comment. She said, I have a huge culture of banana worms, so I can send you a bunch. Maple Street says we've got white worm cultures, easy to maintain, and good-sized worms for smaller fish. I really like white worm culture. That's what this was supposed to be. But I don't think there's a thing alive in it. I've seen nothing. I could put dirt in it and dampen it a bit, and maybe something will happen, but I'm going to give up on it. I think I paid $10 for it. Lost my $10. Oh, well. Let's see. Chevy is saying that the white worm culture might be grindle worms. Oh. No, she's not talking about Maple Street. She's talking about rose banana worms. Said they're very small. Looking for worms as big as half a hair. Don't know about that. Leonard. Hi, Leonard. Anyway, yeah, I need to get some live culture going. But this microworm culture, now what I have discovered is I need to add yeast to it Um, every few days. Let me see if I can find my brush here. I don't know where it is. Oh, here it is. All right, my brush. Little paintbrush. And I do this and get a bunch of them. And then I put them in the water. Now I'm actually feeding these tiny fish on microworms. And as you can see, this Suna McGill is eating the microworms. I don't know if you can see her taking them or not, but she is. And there's another one coming in. The two Suna McGills are eating the microworm culture. The other thing I feed, microworms to, let me get a little more and I'll show you. Is the angel tank. I got to get the duckweed off the top. It's covering the tank up. I don't have any eggs in here yet from these angels, but I think they're coming. These are blue rams. Not the German, the neon, they're iridescent blue. And they're really tiny. The two tiny angels, beautiful veil marbles, were sent to me from one of the gals on Discord. Now, that's the other thing I want to talk about. Let me show you. I think we can pull it up. I can do this. Discord, my Discord channel, which is right here, has currently about 325 people on it. They're not all on at once. Currently, there are 4, 5, 6, 7, 14 is 21. There are currently 21 people on. And it runs between 20 and 40 typically in a whole host of areas. The general fish talk. Let me pop this up a little bigger. Maybe you can see it. Questions and answers, fish emergency. Stephen, the biologist, keeps track of this forum, the fish emergency forum. And if something comes up that requires professional help, he's there to do so. You can post photos and videos. There is a meme forum because there's so many people who love memes. There's a philosophical forum where you may wax eloquent. There's a Father Fish new videos, which is recommendations for new videos. And another video ideas for Father Fish, which gets into kind of planning and organizing. There is a staff channel. Now the staff are comprised of sharks, greeters over on the right, barracudas, and that's it. No, there's a fourth one. The fourth one is, I don't remember what it's called. Let me see if I can find it. It is called Emergency Aquatic Technician. Emergency Aquatic Technician. We found there are a few people on the channel who are so attuned and expertise in dealing with problems, particularly medical kinds of issues, that we created a separate staff category for them. So we have these 4 staff categories, and the staff are able to communicate on a routine basis. Now, the leadership group on the channel is the sharks. They're calling all sharks. So that allows all of the sharks to leave suggestions, comments, discussion, and so forth. We deal with problems that crop up, issues that come up, and so forth. So it's a heavily monitored channel, enormously supportive, a very positive experience for everybody who's on there and a part of it, and a very welcoming place for anyone really looking for a home. Um, it is the ultimate live stream because it allows you talking with each other in a chat format to also post videos, to post pictures, and to communicate with each other in video. So it's really got a lot of flexibility and a lot of usage that we're just really learning how to take advantage of. Great fun. Please come on over. It's something you will thoroughly enjoy. Brad Hobbies. Hello, Brad. Nice to see you. And I jumped 20 down here again. Oh, really? There we are. See who else is here is new. Too coolie for schoolie. Good morning. We've missed you. Nice to have you here. Manes, tails, fur, and fins. Good morning. Jesse's here. Jess and I had a good time at Aqua Shella. We let's see. I want to get back to my picture here. Sorry. Jess was at Aqua Shella, and we palled around a bit. So that was a lot of fun. Nice to see you, Jesse. Good to have you here. Oh, who else? Planted Tanks is saying good evening. So Planted Tanks must be somewhere in Europe, I would guess. Where are you from, Planted? Oh, he's saying morning. Well, it's obviously evening where you are. Where are you located? Paul C. Hi, Paul C. George Trotter. How often should water changes be made? Good question, George. I make water changes as needed. I don't do it simply to do it. I do it because there's a reason. A reason to do it. The reason is typically a drop in pH, something that where the fish are showing obvious signs of stress, water that's become suddenly cloudy, checking parameters and finding that the hardness is up around, I don't know, 2,000, something ridiculous. Nitrate levels that have gotten obscenely high. And by that, I mean 400 or more. I would not even begin to think about nitrates until they're over 250. If you've got 50 nitrates, you're fine. Keep a lot of plants in your tank and make sure you're keeping a deep substrate. That really does control nitrates. Also, don't go crazy with feeding. The biggest single problem that people have keeping tropical fish is feeding them because they have extremely tiny stomachs. A 1-inch fish has a stomach that is virtually microscopic. It's so tiny. It's not a quarter of an inch long. How much food do you think it can hold? Now, here's the thing. When a fish, a tiny little fish, eats, that food is processed in about 2 hours. It goes zoom, gone. And when it's pooped out, it still has roughly 90% of its food value. I've talked about this before, but you need to understand it because it's fundamental to really knowing how to take care of your fish. When that's pooped out, it still has 90% of its food value. Did you know that there are a substantial number of fish as well as invertebrates that live exclusively on the waste from other fish? And I'll give you a clue as to what one of them is. It's a saltwater fish. It's the favorite saltwater fish of nearly everyone. That's right, Nemo. The clownfish, the clown goby. Its primary food source in the wild is the waste from other fish. It eats that 90% partially digested, poops it out 80%. Somebody else eats that partially digested, removes about 10%, poops it out 70%, and it goes on. That food is re-eaten, reprocessed, and continues to provide nutrition again and 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 again. And when it finally reaches the point where it's virtually used up, guess what happens? The microscopic fauna take hold of it and they begin chewing it up until finally what is left is microscopic dust, which sifts into the substrate and gets deeper and deeper in the substrate as animals living in the substrate consume more and more of it. It's attacked by the bacteria at the lowest final level and is converted at that final stage into nutrition for plants that take it up by their roots and bring it up through their stems, and it comes out in the leaves they make. And when those leaves deteriorate, the fish eat them and continue the cycle. So you see that the tank, the deep substrate aquarium, is literally feeding the fish that are living in it. Now, obviously, if those fish are 6 inches long, 4 inches long, 3 inches long, maybe even 2 inches long, they're not going to get much because the food is going to be too tiny. But if those fish are under 2 inches, they will be fed thoroughly, completely, fully by a well-balanced, established, deep substrate aquarium that has lots of plants growing in it. I'm happy to see Maple Street here today because he understands this. His tanks are natural systems. There's one other step that you need to take and that we have just begun to talk about. And it's really critical. It's something we've been overlooking because been trying so hard to get people to put 4 inches of substrate in their tank that we've ignored the cap on the substrate. Heretofore, the cap has been considered sand, and that's critical. That's helpful, and that's good. But there's something else that needs to be included. That something else is we experience it in our aquariums as mulm. Mulm. Remember we were talking about the food breaking down? That's what the mulm is. And it is breaking down further, being consumed by microscopic animals and precipitating into the sand. If you have baby fish in your tank or little fish like these little pseudomagills that I have, in fact, everything I've got in that tank, everything in this tank, including the pygmy sunfish, are so tiny that they can eat microscopic and do eat microscopic food. They literally, what is that right there? I see something. Fins. Okay. That's a shelly. There's another shelly. These are baby shellies that Andres from Bioaquatics brought to our club meeting, and I bought them at auction. I don't know if you can see them. Can you see them? I can't get really good resolution with this camera. It doesn't focus well when I get too close like that. That's a little shelly. I don't remember which one. I need to get back to them and find out. Oh, one other thing while I'm at it. While I was at Aquashella, I purchased from Lucas's booth Cryptocarine hoderoi. And I brought it home. Big, huge plant. Plant must have been a foot or better tall. Thick, full cryptocarine. Brought it home, began separating it, got 6 plants out of it, 3 of which are large, and then 3 smaller. These leaves at the top are the crypt. There's some more in the back there. I got it. Here's another one here. I've got it in 6 different tanks. Got some in here. You can see it back there. They take the algae off that tank. I believe I've got some in with the angels, but I don't remember where. Maybe I do. I don't know. Anyway, fabulous plant. And the hodori is a pretty rare crypt. So I was excited to get that and excited to help Lucas in the process. I told him I bought it because he was not around when I did. He was judging the shrimp contest. And he said, good, I'm glad somebody got it. He'll really appreciate it. And I do. I'm so happy about it and excited about it. So water changes as needed. What else have we got here? 924 lobster, gnarly. Planted tanks. I bought 2 Oscars for my depressed, laid-back Jack Dempsey. He hasn't paid them any attention. Well, count your blessings, or you might have squabbles. Yeah, Jack Dempsey. Another Jack Dempsey would be good. That might perk his interest up. Try that. Let's see. 8, 9, 26. Lord. When this thing jumps, it jumps. Oh, let's see. Here we go. Planted tanks have not made any videos, but you're thinking about it. Well, by all means, planted tanks, go for it. 13 planted tanks, 5 with CO2, and 2 stock ponds. Wow. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. 928. Muncie, Indiana planted tanks. Muncie, Indiana. Muncie, Indiana, Indiana. I don't remember the song. Fun song. Rainer Trofer. Hi, Rainer. We need to talk. We need to give Rainer a wrench. 929. Blomquist. Hello, Blomquist. Good to see you. Furthan Sazali. Furan Sazali. Is it okay to feed my bed of mosquito larvae once every other day? Because here in my place, there are a lot of puddles containing larvae. No, it's not good to feed your bed of mosquito larvae once every other day. I would rather feed them 10 times a day every day. Mosquito larvae is the natural food for bettas. It's the very best thing that you could possibly feed your bettas. Bettas have certain enzymes in their gut that are able to break down in insect proteins. And they're strict insectivores. They cannot process any kind of vegetable matter. Oh, they may eat it because it looks like food and they're hungry, but it goes right straight out of them. It's like it gives them diarrhea. I mean, they cannot process any kind of vegetable matter. So don't even bother feeding it to them. All you'll really be doing is polluting your betta bowl or whatever you have them in. So Farhan, by all means, feed them lots of mosquito larvae every day. In fact, if you've got females, you can get them egged up in a day or two on mosquito larvae. It won't take long at all. Chevy fish diatoms feed on silicates found in sand. Chevy is saying I feed my bettas mosquito larvae. Yeah, what Chevy fish does is collect the boats, the eggs that the mosquito larvae lay, and she puts those in her tank with her baby fish. So as soon as they hatch out, they're eaten immediately, and they're really tiny. So it's a way to get a microscopic, or at least a very tiny, food for really little fish. Planted tanks. What is he talking about? That whole process. Fish make us feel like they're starving. Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do, because they eat all the time. But you don't need to feed them all the time. If they get used to coming to the front of the glass to feed, then all you've got is some trained animals. You don't have anything that's acting naturally or functioning particularly naturally. You just, you've trained them to come to the front of the glass. That doesn't give you any appreciation at all to how they really live. So stop doing it. If you feed, do not feed the same time every day. Break it up, scatter it. Don't feed for a day or two, 3 or 4 in a row, and then feed at off times. You'll find that when you walk in the room, they're not going to come darting up looking for you to give them something, expecting there to suddenly be food there. They're going to be looking around for food in the tank. They're going to be grazing in that tank. They're going to be acting in ways that are normal and not trained. Try that. See if I'm not right. Hello, Ekaleshtapa. Namaste. Whitefish salad. Good morning. Good morning. Randy Roman. Hello, Randy. Nice to see you here. Rainer Trooper says, Father Fish, Fisch. I like that. I have a question. What can I feed my Endostomus crocodilus apart from Artemia? And he just deleted. Oh dear. While I was reading it, he deleted it. Rainer. Come on, bring it back. That was a good question. What if I got, what did I do? Somebody put him in hide, I think. I don't know what's going on. Says the message was deleted by me. Okay, so I got it back. Maybe I did. Let's see. What I want to do is, apart from Artemia nauplii, brine shrimp, he wants to know what else he can feed his endostomus. Apart from brine shrimp, any small food will do. For fish, what am I doing here? For fish that require live food, let me just bring it up here. Here we go. Doobie-doo. Look at this. Look at this guy. Oh, what a cool fish. Look at this. It's going to eat any kind of, I've never had one of these. Never. That's a remarkable fish. I thought at first it was a pencil fish. It's not. I don't even know what this is. That is such a cool fish. Chevy, what are we looking at here? Obviously, he's going to eat live. He has a mouth like a pipefish. Kind of a sucking mouth. So he's eating tiny little fish. Daphnia, he'll feed on that. He may feed on worm culture. May very well eat worms. Some of these fish, like pipefish, will not eat worms. Seahorses will not eat worms. That's dynamite. Episto Life. Thank you for that. Let's see. Here's another view. There's a shrimp. Give you an idea of size. There's a shrimp alongside him. Tiny little fish, maybe an inch, little better, in with shrimp. Gotta love it. It looks a bit like a stickleback. It's not, but it's kind of shaped like a stickleback. Crocodilus. Wow. What a cool fish. I love it. I love it. And you want to know what to feed it. I ain't never even seen it before. Where's it from? Tell us a little about it. A whitefish is saying he has rolling hills of mulm in his tanks. Rainer, I don't know what I did to you, but I hope we got it worked out. I'm going to make you a moderator, and we got your question back. And this absolutely astounding Endostomus crocodilius. Is it Gildius? Dillis. Crocodilus. I got to get me some of them. Let's see. Oh, I'm back at 9:49, so I'm a little behind. Ferrin says, Father Fish, do I need to remove the melting, dying plant or just leave it in there? I'm very scared of the ammonia. There's no ammonia created by plants dying, curiously. It's just not an issue unless you get so much that it fouls the water. And by fouling the water, kills all of the microfauna, which then create ammonia. So it's not going to dying plants in a reasonable amount are never going to be a problem. Obviously, anything deteriorating in substantial quantities is going to burn up the available oxygen and cause a general crash of any animals depending on oxygen in the water. So a Burma stickleback, I was right, it is a stickleback. God, what a cool fish. Well, I got something right, even though I second guessed myself. It's only got like 2 or 3 stickles on it, which is kind of different, but from Burma. Wow. Absolutely exciting fish. When I was a kid excuse me, there. When I was a child in Maryland on the Chesapeake Bay, I collected sticklebacks all the time. And I kept them in little tanks, bowls, whatever, jars. And occasionally they would make a nest in there. Absolutely fascinated with them. The grasses that they depend on disappeared from the Chesapeake Bay, at least the upper reaches of the bay where I lived, and the sticklebacks with them. So they're not there anymore. Used to always catch lots of pipefish. Pipefish and sticklebacks were all over the Chesapeake Bay when I was a child. I miss them, and I really want to get sticklebacks again. The problem is they don't survive in Florida. They won't survive in water over 80 degrees, and it's hard to do it to keep it cold enough here. I did not keep any of my chillers, and the AC varies too much. I need to try it. Need to figure out a way to do it. JK Aquatics just started my first dirted tank and a 20 long. Followed your guides, fingers crossed, hoping for the best. Thanks for all your videos. It's going to be just fine, JK. You're going to love it. Burma stickleback. Come back to that again. Okay, looks like I've caught up. I think. Splashing around. Seriously. My snails hid, I guess it means, when I had paradise fish. I thought they had been eaten, so I took out the paradise, and all the snails duly appeared the very next morning. So they must be smart or scared. Paradise fish are a fish I do not appreciate. They are stunningly beautiful. The paradise gourami is one of the prettiest of all the gouramis, particularly when they become mature with the long flowing fins. They're stunning fish and the meanest bugger you could put in your tank. They are horrendous. They are terrorists. They absolutely are terrorists. Nasty, nasty fish. You're going to keep paradise, keep them in small groups in species tanks, and you'll be delighted with them. They'll get big and really, really pretty. They'll get 4 to 5 inches. They get pretty good size. But boy, you can't put them with anything. The anti-wolf fish is saying to JK, he's about 6 weeks in, you're going to love it. You betcha. Do you think the commercial fish operations allow too much disease in the hobby? Chris Trapp. Darn, that's a good question. No, I don't. I don't think that's the problem. The commercial fish operations are extremely conscientious about disease because they can't afford to lose all their stock. There is even here in Florida a special laboratory established by the university system that works specifically and directly with the local farmers on issues like disease and other issues such as appropriate fish to culture and ways of being able to improve culturing practices. So the fish farmers in Florida have a resource that really is remarkable, employing the very best science that's available in aquaculture in order to be able to produce healthy, strong, vigorous fish for the trade. So no, I do not believe that's the problem. There are problems associated with the movement of fish through the system, that is the delivery system that gets them to you. And there are problems that can occur every step of the way. That's especially true with imported fish that may well come in with disease and parasites. So that requires some special consideration, special care in order to be able to properly care for imported fish. But fish coming into the hobby from the local fish farms through the local suppliers are by and large in pretty good shape. The difficulty is the shop they end up in. And if they end up, excuse me, in a big box store, they are likely to develop problems. The most common of which is ick. Second of which is bacterial problems leading to fungal growth, leading to death. The care and feeding of fish in a retail establishment, it's something that is a real mixed bag. Local fish stores tend to do a substantially better job than big box stores. Big box stores tend to do a pitiful job, and they even manage it as a part of their marketing procedure because they guarantee their fish. So they'll get a fish in for 50 cents, sell it for $5. It dies. You bring it back. They replace the fish with another sick fish. And while you're there, oh, by the way, you ought to get these medications and chemicals and other supplies so that it doesn't happen again. So you spend another 20, 30, 40 bucks. Go out with the new fish. It dies again. You come back, it died again. Oh, really? Why? Oh, well, you need this and that and the other thing. And it goes on and on. And by the third or fourth time, the customer gives up. They've spent by that time hundreds of dollars. They have nothing to show for it other than a shelf full of medications that they don't know how to use and a lot of dead fish. So the tank goes out on the curb. That's the reality is that the marketing strategists in the big box stores only care about that customer coming back 2 or 3 or 4 times. There is no long-term customer base. It does not exist. It is infinitesimal in their total marketing strategy and not something they even give consideration to. The first-time buyer who becomes a second-time and a third-time buyer and then quits. Those are the ones they're looking for. That's the churn. And they do the churn as a way of promoting sales. It stinks. It stinks to high heaven. I'm splashing around. Why would I favorite ram's horns over paradise? All right. Hello, singlemom.com. Nice to see you. JK, thank you. Excited about this thing. Been in the hobby about 6 years. Always great to find something that gets you excited again and invigorates you back in things. You betcha, JK. Absolutely. Hello, Chris Trapp. Nice to see you. Single mom. Oh, Lord. I've got so many sick fish shipped from Asia, and even after treatment and quarantine, they still die sometimes. So frustrating. Yeah, the biggest problem with a lot of them is they starve to death because they've been in captivity for so long without food that the enzymes have died off. And so they can't even digest the food they eat. There is a solution for that. And it's one that putting them in quarantine obviates. You have to put them in with fish that are healthy. If the fish is otherwise healthy, put it in with other healthy fish so that it can eat their waste and restore the enzymes to its gut. Aha! Simple but critical. Simple but critical. And one that we typically completely overlook. Been using potassium permanganate baths when she gets new fish. That's an interesting product. I started using it in about 1956, more than 50 years ago. And it works. It's pretty effective. It is a toxin. Basically, what it does is it precipitates. It causes precipitation. It acts like a heavy metal that attaches to organisms and detritus and precipitates it down into the tank. It also is a toxin which will kill everything in sufficient dosage. In lighter dosage, it's like chemotherapy. Potassium permanganate is like chemotherapy. So you want to be extremely cautious with it. It is a very toxic dye. Single mom, miss seeing you in Venice. I know. I need to find a way. Well, come to the club meetings. By all means, we meet the third Thursday of the month, and we're going to be meeting in the Pine Brook Community Center. The Pine Brook Community Center, third Thursday of the month at 7 o'clock. You can get directions and so forth on Facebook, as well as I'll post it here, I guess, for what it's worth in the community notes. But Facebook, Venice Aquarium Society. Come and join us. It's great fun. Also, come on over to Discord. I'm there every day, as well as lots of other people. So it's a good way to keep up. Chris Trapp, what is your preferred stocking density? I know we talk about 70% of the floor having plants, but what about fish? You know, that's really interesting, Chris. Preferred stocking density. I guess the truth is I prefer a very light stocking density. Let me give you an example. This this is about as heavily. I prefer a stocking density sufficiently light that I can add fish to it without getting in trouble. Now, this tank has about a dozen, it's a 55 tall. It has about a dozen peacock cichlids in it that are pretty much full grown. They're like 4 inches plus. Plus, there's the little sun cat down there. I've got a big salamander in here. The siren is back there. Um, that I throw little stuff in there typically. There's a little convict cichlid hiding up there that was in one of these tanks. I converted to salt and I threw him in. So the density I like is, you can see with, well, here's one. This is a 29 tall. It's got 6 puffers and about a dozen buffaloes. I could add to it if I wanted to. If I got something that would get along well, I could do that. That's kind of my approach. I've got bettas and natives in here. Primarily, there are some scarlet battis, so tiny fish. This tank is cloudy because I pulled some fish out, and then my pump quit working, so the filter is not working. That's a little battis back there, a couple of them hanging around that filter. Little scarlet battis. My betta colony, they're not moving around much this morning. Typically, they're right up in front. There are about 10 of them in here. And then the rest are blue lanquilles and some other Formosa and goody eye and so forth. And then this tank, that's 30 gallons. I've got probably 20, 25 fish in it, but none of them are an inch long. They're all really tiny fish, with the exception of a Plecostomus, a bushy nose. So, good question. I tend to understock. I just kind of like the density that way. It makes it more comfortable. You're not risking a problem. You're not depending on air being pumped into the tank or circulation in order to keep the oxygen level up. It just makes it a lot safer. Vanotsky, belated Happy Father's Day. Thank you, Vanotsky. I called my daughter up yesterday morning. She answered the phone and said, Happy Father's Day. And I said, Happy Daughter's Day. And she said, that's not a thing. And I said, well, it's our thing. And Happy Granddaughter's Day, too. And I heard a granddaughter, excuse me, giggling in the background. I made a little video of my granddaughter, who's 9 years old, waxing eloquent about how Father Fish needs to improve his YouTube channel. And I filmed it, and when I looked at it, my camera was apparently shooting the ceiling. So they're going to send me another one. And we'll get it up here because that'll be fun. Schwans, hello Schwans, good to see you. Allison Wilkie, thanks for showing me your puffer tank. Yeah, these are little, excuse me. What are they? They were a common puffer, leopard puffers. They're little leopard puffers. splashing around saying, George, you asked about some kind of membrane. Do you sell anything? Here it is. George Trotter. Do you sell anything I can put in my dirt and gravel before capping it with sand? No, I don't. And you do not need to. And it's kind of meaningless to do it. If you cap it with 2 inches of sand, there's absolutely no need to do so. If you're worried about digging, it's not going to prevent it from becoming a problem. If you have diggers, increase the sand to 3 to 4 inches. Lady Diane is here. Hello, Lady Diane. And Boss Aquatics. Hello, Boss Aquatics. Nice to see you too. Good to have you with us. I'm backing up a little. Michael Long. Hello, Michael Long. Allison Wilkie. I'll add more plants on my puffer tank and then try adding cories. That's a good move. The puffers are not going to bother the cories. The cories will do a good job of keeping things picked up and cleaned up. I was curious as to how this was going to work out with the buffaloes and the puffers, but there's been no conflict at all. It's not been a problem. And I'm trusting it won't be when the buffaloes have babies. The babies will stay close to the bottom and the adults are going to protect them. So I don't think it'll be a problem. Drift and Driftwood. My son said, "You're watching Santa Claus again, Dad. Your knowledge is fantastic. You certainly know what you're talking about, though." Dad, well, thank you. And I really do need to play Santa Claus. I haven't done that yet. I need to do it. That would be great fun. I guess I'll try to figure out how to set it up this coming Christmas, maybe. I don't know that I'll handle it real well, but just physically. But it would be great fun to do it. Siobhan said, I met tropical fish keepers in Southwest Florida 2 days ago. Wonderful. That's the Naples crowd. Bunch of cool people. Some of them come up to the Venice Club, and some of the people go down there. They have a good club. They've had some struggles with it, but they're back now and going strong, as are we. So we're coming along. Have the new salt tanks cleared up, Chris Trapp? Well, let's take a look. The one I didn't clean the glass. I gotta clean the glass. Where are my? I've got some microfiber towels here somewhere, which I can't find. So it's about halfway clear. It's still a little cloudy. This one is about the same. If I had rock in it, you could see it's about the same. I got rock in this one today, so it's got a good 2 days, I guess. I'll put lights on it today. Get the rocks in it. The pumps are working well. That's doing well. I'm pleased with it. So yeah, I think they're going to be fine. I'm going to be going out later in the week collecting. We will videotape that. So it'll be a video. We're going to go up to Longboat Key, to the Southbridge Island, which is a state park. Has wonderful grass flats. We'll bring back a lot of different kinds of shrimp, which probably won't make it. Some will. A lot don't. But we'll also have a lot of other invertebrates and maybe some little fish, some gobies or something. We'll see how it goes. Lady Diane, thank you so much. You're a dear. Red Eye ordered a Father Fish coffee mug this morning. I do. I've got 6 or 8 of them left. I took them to Aquashella with my big portfolio pictures. I'll show you these. And I never took them out of my suitcase, which was pretty stupid because I could have given them to some people. Well, that's funny. All right, here we go. Look at that. So I will do these autographed for $25 each. If you postage included. So if you want one of these guys, $25 and it'll be autographed with your name and whatever comment you would like me to inscribe on it. So those are fun. And I gotta find tubes to ship them in because I certainly don't want to fold them. And I don't want to send them in a flat pack because they'll get folded. Anywho, nice piece of paper. Yeah, mugs are $25. You can get the mugs and the picture on PayPal, fatherfish@fatherfish.net. $25. Leave your name and address and precisely what you want, plus any message. And I will honor those requests. Be happy to. That's PayPal, fatherfish@fatherfish.net. $25 each for either the mug or the picture. $50 for both. That'll include shipping. What state? Donnie Wolf, Florida. Father Fish, what state are you in? I'm in Florida. I'm in Southwest Florida. Donnie. DL Myth. It says I'm late, but I put a like in. Got nervous when you put all those rocks in the tank. It was like, how Father Fish will add fish to the tank if there's no room. Well, you can see, I put a bucket full of rocks in. But it leaves lots of spaces between the rocks, and there's lots of open space as well. So it really is not going to be overcrowded. But it's not 1 or 2. It's a rock foundation. So it'll provide really a much richer environment, particularly for invertebrates, which depend on being on the bottom or being on a surface. So it creates a whole lot more surface in the tank for animals that live on the surface, which includes gobies. Xanadu, hello, good to see you. Excuse me. I've got phlegm in my throat. Didn't take the phlegm removal medication this morning. Oh, Allison Wilkie, I'm pretty new to your channel. What saltwater bodies are you getting your saltwater from? I'm in the San Francisco Bay Area, so my closest saltwater is the Pacific. No, your closest saltwater is in San Francisco Bay. That contains saltwater, and it's commensurate with the Pacific saltwater. You can take saltwater right out of the bay, and it will be fine. It won't be a problem at all. Mine comes from the Intercoastal Waterway here in Florida, Southwest Florida, which at this point runs very close to an inlet to the Gulf. Everyone smash the like. How we doing with the likes here? We got 54 people and we've had 60. We're a little short, about 10. Hit the like button. We got a bell here somewhere. Where's the bell? Aha! Here's the bell. As I knock everything on my kit. A bell. That's a ship's bell. $51, $52. That was pretty cool, wasn't it? Got there pretty quick. We got 54 watching. What time is it? 10:20. We got about a half an hour left. We're moving right along here, aren't we? Lady Diane set up a blind tank in a 29-gallon. Guess what method I used? Well. We don't need to guess, do we? Ah, Lady Diane. Chevy Fish MJ Fins. Hello, MJ Fins. Nice to see you. Randy Roman. C. Morrison. I'm setting up a Husky 10,000-pound rack for my aquariums. Do I need to use plywood instead of the wires that were provided to support the tanks? Plywood. Wow. If you're going to use plywood, you need to use 3/4-inch marine, which is expensive. But if you use any other kind of plywood, it's going to rot. Even moisture from evaporation is going to rot it out in time. I'm not familiar with the Husky 10K rack, so I don't know what the wires would be. Generally, I want to use treated wood. If I use wood at all, I learned that lesson the hard way in the shop. Built all of my wood coming in contact with the ground was treated. The wood coming in contact with the tanks was not. And so it rotted and had to be replaced. And I lost a rack because of it. So, Randy Roman bought ticks for Aquashella. What's that, Chicago? I don't think I'm going to make Chicago. I've already talked to a couple of people about Aquashella here in Orlando next year, and I'm going to be sharing a booth. So I will be in a booth here at Aquashella in Orlando next year. I don't have the time or energy to be able to do Chicago or money. T-Bone. Hello, T-Bone. T-Bone would find it nerve-wracking to have a picture of me hovering over him every day. Well, you might consider I'm consoling and encouraging you, T-Bone, because frankly, that's all I've ever done is encourage you. So maybe you should. I could ship it to Australia too. Might take a while to get there, but it'll get there. You bet, Lady Diane. Your rents. Let's see. MJ Fins is here. Hello. And then we did see Morrison's question. Can't be much help with that. Maybe somebody else could help you. See Morrison asking about his wire rack. He's saying, Randy, thanks for the bell warning, so I can kind of wake up the way. Oh dear. Patricia Powers. Doesn't sand contain silica? Doesn't putting a cap on the soil guarantee diatoms? Not all sand contains silica. And the diatoms that are created are minimal compared to everything else that's being supported. The issue is cultural diversity. It's a really good question, Patricia. The solution to diatomaceous algae and other kinds of problems is increased bioculture, which has the effect of leveling out and balancing out all of the various critters that are living in that soup. If you have a pristine environment that is perfectly clean, what's going to happen? A single bacterium is going to get in there and explode and create a monoculture that will wipe out everything alive in it. Think of it this way. Native peoples coming in contact with people from substantially larger cultures very often become sick from what are very common illnesses in that major culture, like the common cold, and may well be devastated in population because they have no immunity. What is immunity? Immunity is simply a broad range of bacterium and other microscopic viruses and the like that are in such a broad spectrum of types and kinds that they balance out, they war with each other. They're all of them are trying to climb the top of the mountain, and they're pulling the other one down to get above them. It's like, think of it that way. Think of it as 1,000 goats trying to reach the top of a hill. And they're climbing up, and nobody ever gets to the top. It's like that. It's not that, but it's like that. It's a balance. The broader the spectrum of life in the tank, the less likelihood of a monoculture experience or a dominant factor that takes over and destroys everything else. That's what diatomaceous algae is. It's algae growing in a tank that has grossly inadequate microculture, diverse microculture, and so it simply explodes. So the solution, get more culture in there, get more live material in there, load up the bacteria, get it built up, get more live material from the wild. From the wild. I can just hear the screechers and the screamers. Oh noes! The oh noes! You can't do that. You bring terrible, deadly, horrible, terrible, horrible, awful, miserable, terrible, bad from the wild. Brothers and sisters, I'm here to tell you that God don't make no fools. He don't. You and me, brother, we're the ones that make the fools. And we make the fools by trying to pretend we're God, by trying to set up this little box We got only putting the stuff in it we want. And we don't know what we're doing. So we put stuff in there that goes crazy and kills everything off. And we drink it down, pour poison in it, kill it, get it dry, get it clean, and then try again. Listen. The best way to keep any animal alive is to let nature do it. Let it live in nature. Bring nature into your aquarium. Where do you think the fish came from that you got anyway? Where do you think they came from? Out of a laboratory? You think they came from some scientist that made them up? Or some PR mogul that spent the money to build them? Listen, these are living systems, living organisms. You know, mine are not pretty. My tanks are not pretty. I don't try to make them pretty. I try to make them natural. I try to make them so natural that I can go out and collect stuff and put it in and it's going to be fine. I try to make it so natural that I rarely, if ever, have any disease. Natural. A natural system with natural materials from the natural world gives you a healthy, vigorous, dynamic system. Don't be afraid of it. Don't be afraid of it. Don't be afraid to go out in the stream and collect a handful of rotted leaf litter and put it in your fish tank. Do it. Just do it. You will be amazed. Oh, gee, God, I didn't know you knew how to do that. I thought you killed everything. Don't be an idiot. Don't think you're smarter than nature, because you're not. You're part of it. Live in it. Share it. Be a part of it. Assimilate it. Take it in, especially into your fish tank. And rent. That one I probably should. That Naresh, if you're here, capture that one. That's a good one. And we'll post that one. Plywood, Chevy Fish is saying I would use plywood. All right. Hello, Balm. How are you, Christina Whitaker? So glad I found you on Discord. Oh, I know. It's great fun, isn't it? 2x4s. Lady Dan's use 2x4s. Set on end, not flat, on end. Excellent. C. Morrison. Can the Pink Panther foam core styrofoam sheets be used instead of wood? Fortunately, I know what you mean. And the answer is absolutely. I recommend it because it levels out any twists and turns in the frame. So it allows you to have a really genuinely level platform. Somebody just donated $10 here. Who did that? There it is. Isabella. Now, how do I do this? It's been so long. Let's see. I don't know what I'm doing. What am I doing? There we go. I did it. Isabella's $10 super sticker. Thank you, Isabella. That's very kind and generous and is a big help. We really do need all the support we can get. Doing these live streams, I may as well mention this, over the past year and a half, has caused my income from YouTube to go from approximately $800 a month to about $200 a month. And all that's caused it is daily live streams. That's part of the reason I'm not doing them anymore, because I'm trying to get my video program back up to the point where I'm getting a few thousand hits. Right now, it's down well under 500. The algorithm, which promotes videos, was promoting at the rate of about 5,000 promotions, or what's called reaches, per video. I put a video out, it would promote it 5,000 times. Of that, I would get an immediate return of 500, plus 500 people looking for me, so I'd have 1,000 in a day. Now, the promotion is, instead of 5,000, it's about 50. Not even a tenth. It's 1%. It's dropped from 5,000 promotes to 50 promotes. And of those, 10% or 5 actually watch the video. So that's how desperate things have gotten. I am as dead in the water as I was the day Lucas promoted me on the YouTube a year and a half ago. So I do need help, and I need, but not just financial help here, if you can do a super sticker, but more importantly, I need you to promote some of the videos that you really appreciate. Share them. Share the videos on your social media. That brings in people. It absolutely does. As you're on other channels and the subject comes up, mention Father Fish and ask if you can post an appropriate video. Do what you can to help. We desperately need the help if we're going to get this channel back to the point where we're reaching lots of new people. Thank you. Thank you for that. Randy is saying my natural tank looks good because it looks natural. I could not agree more, Randy. Absolutely. Mine do too. For me, I like it a lot. And Chris says, just do it. Right. Just do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Somebody got mad at me the other day. They said I was in their face about sand because they like gravel. And I said, listen. I started doing gravel before your father was born. Think about that. Before your father was born. And I don't like it. Allison Wilkie, I'm sure you built a place where a community can share their tanks. Where do I find that community space? Glad you asked. We need to post the link. Let me do it. It's our Discord channel. which I'm going to come up with here in a second. It's on my homepage under the community button. And if you will scroll down to join the Discord, join the show on Discord, you'll see the link. Click on the link. And I'm going to give you the link right now. Right there is the link. Click on the link. Ha! Patricia Power says, I think I thank you. Not trying to be God. You're good, Patricia. You're good. Not a problem. Christina Whitaker, my fish got so much healthier since I put wild things in my tank. I couldn't get a female guppy alive long enough to breed. Now I have babies again. C. Morrison, so when I set up, I need 29 gallon. It's okay for me to use the pond water from the local park or use only fresh river water. I'm going to do this. Either are good. Either are fine. And I don't know as I would distinguish. You might consider what you're planning to put in there. River water is not necessarily better than pond water. River water may contain pollutants upriver. You would probably know that if they did, because there would be some problems. Same thing could be true of the pond, though. So you want to be cautious where you get water or mud or plants or anything else for that matter from. You want to look at it. Look at the source. Look at the source. Make sure it's healthy. Make sure it's clean. Make sure it looks nice. Make sure there's no odor, no bad odor. Make sure there are fish swimming in it that are healthy and happy. Make sure there are plants growing in it. Make sure there's no oily scum or slick or rotten dead stuff or fish floating or whatever. Make sure it's really healthy and then use it. Don't go out to the local sewer and scoop up a bunch of garbage and throw it in your tank. Don't do that. Don't do that. That's not nice. It's not nice to treat father fish that way either. Don't do it. You want to get nice. Nice you want. You want nice. You want to put nice in your tank. Not nasty. No nasties. And if you can't tell the difference, then you need to sit there and think about it. And just observe it until you figure out the difference between naturally nice and nasty. Work that out. And then when you bring in from the wild, it's going to be nice, not nasty. Right. Father fish, you've been hiding a secret monster fish, Rohan says. No, I don't think so. I don't have any secret monster fish. Biggest fish I got is a 2-foot siren, and it's kind of a monster, but it's not a voracious one. T-bone. You know, the ironic thing is, Australia is surrounded by ocean, yet we don't have any pet shops that sell or deal in saltwater fish. The Great Barrier Reef is only an 8-hour drive for me. I think that is utterly remarkable. Utterly. If not fundamentally insane. I have long believed that the environmental laws, regulations, rules and policies that are extant, that means that exist, in Australia are by and large profound and substantial overreach, having the effect of not dealing with the problems they're created to deal with. And that's fairly typical of bureaucratic stupidity. Bureaucratic stupidity is, in a word, I'm going to create rules that I can hurt people by enforcing because my job is to hurt people. Never mind the effect. There's so many bureaucracies around the world that exist purely for the sake of controlling populations of people that claim to be, oh, so environmentally sensitive. And they're not. They're, if anything, environmentally profoundly insensitive because they really don't care a bit about the effect of their policies on the environment. Their only interest is in accruing their own power and authority and getting as much as they can out of the indigenous population, which are the natives living under these superior creatures. Damn them to hell, all of them. My final word on that subject. Plant Life Project, planning to give you a shout out and share your channel link in my next video. Thank you so much, Plant Life. Deeply appreciate it. Do absolutely. All right, we're going to jump down here kind of quick now. I think I've lost a bunch. Secret History is here somewhere. Here he is. He's saying the gases rise up from subsurface, move through the water within 1 to 3 seconds. Cannot gas it off enough to help. It's an old wives' tale. You're right. Absolutely. Thank you, Alex. Love you. Great to have you here. Shout out and share your channel. You did that. T-Bone, we did that. To-do. I've obviously missed some stuff. I'm not going to try to go back and catch it. Spring is best in Missouri. Dragonfly egg season. I don't know as I like dragonfly larvae. They're a little risky in a tank. Those are mean dudes. Mermaids Chorus is here. Hello, Mermaids Chorus. I missed you earlier. Chris Trapp, Australia's full of wildlife laws. Yeah, I know they are, and none of them are doing any good. They're all worthless. All they're doing is controlling people. They're not benefiting the environment at all. You don't benefit the environment by controlling people. That's a false declension. It's a false premise. It's not true. It's not valid. The problem with nature is not human intervention. The problem with nature is the lack of appropriate human intervention. Humans are already intervened in nature because human beings are a function of nature. So human beings acting and living in simpatico with nature doesn't hurt nature. You know? What does hurt nature? Well, pollution. Pollution hurts nature. Controlled pollution. What kind of pollution? There's the question, isn't it? What kind of pollution? When it gets to the point where we're not allowed to use plastic bags to bring food home, things have gone more than a little bit awry. when we're not allowed to walk in an area because our footsteps might kill something, things have gone a little bit awry. If it's reasonable, if it's doable, practical, if it's not an utter obscenity and simply a way to regulate human behavior, then it's fine. It's appropriate. It's helpful. It's good. Keep the eye on nature and not on people, and you'll solve the problems. That siren is very cool, isn't it, Randy? Chris Trapp, they forgot to rebel against Queen. Rebel. Don't know what that means, but I like it. Tommy Denda asking Alex, do you know anything about sand, silt, and clay, and how bacteria extract nutrients from this? This is John Fish. Hey, John. John,
Yes.
how are you?
Well, that was the question that I was going to call and ask you.
Well,
So Nancy,
I'm talking to all my friends right now, as are you.
okay. So how about if I call you back?
You can do that.
Okay.
All right.
Give me a time frame. Okay.
About 20 minutes.
Okay.
All right. Bye. John went out with me yesterday to collect water and stuff, and sand and mud, and we had a great time, and we got it all. Anyway, Tommy Denda's question is not a casual question. Tommy is a scientific researcher and a good one who digs very deeply into these issues. He has, for example, raised serious question as to whether we're actually creating an anaerobic environment or whether it's simply a kind of a mixed environment with some anaerobic properties. A very legitimate question. And so when he asks Alec this, he's asking not casually, but trying to get at some rather serious matters that I'm very interested in. Tommy, we really need to get you up here. It would be great to have you and Alex, the three of us, do a live stream or even a video together and dig into some of these deeper issues. I think that would be time well spent and beneficial to everyone. Won't put garbage in water, Morrison says. Good man, good man. Alex is saying, if you want to use deep substrate like Father Fish and have a few floating plants, you can do a goldfish per 5 or 10 gallons. But they can get over a foot over time, so just beware. Want to start my own fish groups to meet up, Christina says. The existing ones are too controlling and snooty. Boy, that happens, doesn't it? Yeah, start your own. Start your own. The problem is some of these groups, and I've been in a few, not many. Most of them are great, but I've been in a few that had people in them who were in those groups for so long, and the group deteriorated to the point where only a few people were left. And that happened because those few people were so controlling and so dominating that they really were not welcoming to new people and their ideas. So yeah, start your own. Fish Keeping Jamaica, hello, hello. Michael Long, I have a 100-gallon tub of guppies. Like to hear thoughts, suggestions on adding other stock for tub breeding. It's a big tub. Well, anything the guppies are not going to eat or that's not going to eat the guppies. Make sure you got plenty of plants in there, guppy grass and the like. Shrimp are problematic because they're going to eat all the babies. But if it's loaded with plants, a lot of the babies will survive. Other kind of live bears, certainly. Mollies are good, swords are good, platies are wonderful. Tetras, probably not. The babies are going to eat all the guppies again. Snails, you certainly can grow snails in there. I would do more live bearers. Right. Chris Trapp. A good video would be answering aquarium keeping myths. Oh, you bet. You bet. Absolutely. Randy is leaving. Bye bye. Take care, Randy. Went to a killifish meeting. I see you don't have a badge. Can I help you? I'm here to help the speaker on Florida. I don't know where that goes. He said members only and turned his back on me. How nasty. How nasty, lady guy. Yeah, some people are just too stupid. Just too stupid. That's unfortunate. And it may simply be that person. You know, that may very well not be the general attitude of the membership. It may be somebody who's relatively new who just became a member, considering themselves somehow in a unique class. Don't give up quite yet. Move around a little bit. Talk to some other people. Ignore that person and see if you can get a better response. If you get 2 or 3 like that, I would blow them off. Alex, bioavailable for the anoxic or anaerobic bacteria. Most environments with those lowest O2 using organisms have anaerobic primary and secondary decomposes above them in the substrates. Right on. Derek Thompson, I have a 40 gallon with guppies, platies, mollies, cories, tetras, ghost shrimp, and I lost it. Shrimp a lot more labor intensive to see and catch them all. How did the lionfish invade Florida? Chris asks. Really good question, and there is a lot of controversy about that. There was at one point a major aquarium display in the Bahamas that was using an open system. That means they were pumping water into it from the sea, a 1,000,000-gallon system that had a lot of lionfish in it that were breeding, and all of those babies were being washed out by the millions. And they swear none of those were the problem. That didn't cause the problem, right? That's part of it. I don't believe for 1 second that it was people releasing their lionfish into their Gulf. That's too stupid for words. For one thing, you don't release $100 fish into the ocean. You just don't. It's possible a population of them escaped. It's also possible they came in as in bilge water from large ships coming from the Pacific to the Atlantic. Any number of possibilities. They certainly have found a welcome home. I only wish that the Nemo clownfish would find a comparable home in Florida. I would love to see them all over Florida. The Mandarin goby too, for that matter. I mean, there's some really wonderful fish that would be delightful to have here. Unfortunately, they're not sufficiently aggressive because all of the little buggers here in Florida water are voracious and predacious, with the exception of some of the gobies. We could do gobies. I think we can manage gobies. I ain't going to do this. I ain't going to be the one. I ain't going to do it. But I wish somebody would. God, do it. Just do it. Make it happen. He can do it. Somebody will blame me, I know. I just know it. We're after 11 here. been running on for 2 hours. Oh, I'm not even tired. Not a bit tired. Not a bit tired. Oh dear. All right, we're gonna where am I going? We're gonna go. We're gonna back. Which should we play? We need to play a song. Let's play a song. Let's see. Let me let you help choose. Here's the list. You know what I can't do? How can I do this? I can't. I need to show. How do I do this? I need to show the stream so I can see the comments. And then, okay, I'm there. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll down and let's look at them because you can see them. I think you can see them. Can't you see them? Are you looking at them? God, what have I done now? Lowered. I don't even know where we are. Okay, good. You can see them. Let's make it big. Okay. Scrolling down. Now I need to get back to here. Pick out. First person that pick one out, we're going to play it. Do photo and video gallery. Oh, this is Aquatic Conquest stuff. Yellowstone Submarine Song. Shoal Mates. That's Roz. Foxy. A Halloween special. Another Aquatic Conquest. Pick one out. Come on, guys. Pick one out. Father Fish in the Morning, Aquatic Conquest. Here, Fishy. Another Here, Fishy. There's Cassie B. Foxy's Fishies, a Morgan Cork. Oh, that's Foxy again. Let It Flow. That's Foxy. We also have Morgan. Now that wasn't Morgan. That was Mary Page. There's Aquarium Cop. Danny Ken. Hey, Danny Ken. Late to the party, but good to see you. Father Fish. All right. We're not getting anywhere here. Nobody's picking. I'm going to pick it myself. Wonderful Life Song. Ever really tried Love My Little Fishes? I don't want to do that one. Oh, maybe I will. All right. I'm going to do my poem. There. You guys didn't pick one, so now you're screwed. Now you're going to have to, you're going to put up with Father Fish doing his poem. All right, guys. Lovely to have you with us. Delightful to be here. Thank you, everyone, for everything. And we will see you all Sunday night. I think I'm going to do a Sunday night. Kind of seems odd. I do have a video out right now. Please watch it. The saltwater. I'm going to be doing another one probably on this 55 or 30 rather. There'll be another saltwater video coming out. And right now, we're going to do I Love My Little Fishies. Once you get the volume up. Start over again. Get the volume up. You ready? Here we go. Make it big. Ta-da! I love my little fishies as they swim about their home. Oh, I love my little fishies as they swim around in their home. when the sunlight shines upon them and their colors begin to glow. I'm drawn into a world where my heart longs to go. I imagine scenes of beauty and I feel the warmth of love. Oh, I love my little fishies as they swim about their home. I've traveled the world over, but I've never found the peace that comes from watching my little fishies as they swim about their home. My heart is happy and I am content to sit and watch them swim. I will not be alone while these fishies are in my home. When the sunlight shines upon them and their colors begin to glow, I am drawn into a world where my heart longs to go. I imagine scenes of beauty and to feel the warmth of love. Oh, I love my little fishies as they swim about their home.